Welcome to a battlefield of minds. Two grandmasters face off where every move cuts like a sword. One mistake, and it's over. This isn't just chess, it's war disguised as strategy. Let's dive in, move by move, into this epic clash. Wesley So opens with c4, thrusting the flank pawn forward like a probing scout, immediately hinting at a flexible English setup. Hikaru Nakamura replies g6, calmly fianchettoing the bishop, signaling long-term kingside pressure with trademark hypermodern confidence. Wesley advances d4, grabbing central space aggressively, declaring he wants direct control, not a slow positional dance. Hikaru develops nf6. The knight jumps out like a watchful predator, eyeing e4 and preparing to strike the center. Wesley shocks with f3, an ambitious support move, bolstering e4, but also loosening his kingside in risky fashion. Hikaru counters d5, slamming the center shut, challenging Wesley's structure before it can become dangerously dominant. Wesley captures cx-dx5, exchanging pawns to clarify the center, choosing activity over static tension. Hikaru recaptures nx-d5. A knight steps into the spotlight, centralized and confident, daring Wesley to chase it away. Wesley plays e4, expanding forcefully, building a massive pawn duo that screams ambition and long-term attacking intent. Hikaru retreats nb6, coolly preserving the knight, accepting space loss to avoid tactical traps. Wesley develops nc3, reinforcing the center and bringing another soldier into the growing central army. Hikaru fianchettos bg7. The dark bishop awakens, slicing across the long diagonal with latent menace. Wesley adds b3, calmly developing, connecting pieces while keeping a watchful eye on b6 and d5. Hikaru castles. King slides to safety, freeing the rook and signaling readiness for middle game combat. Wesley plays qd2, quietly coordinating pieces and hinting at long castling and kingside pawn storms die. Hikaru answers n6, reinforcing the center and preparing harmonious piece play without revealing his full plan. Wesley castles. Long king dives into queenside shelter, drawing a clear line for opposite side aggression. Hikaru responds q8, centralizing the queen, pressuring d4 and subtly eyeing potential tactical shots. Wesley jumps nb5, a knight lunges forward provocatively, poking at 7 and forcing Hikaru to react. Hikaru retreats q7, choosing safety over bravado, calmly neutralizing the knight's threats. Wesley plays keybone, a quiet king step, improving safety and stepping out of potential checks. Hikaru plays r8. The rook claims an open file, directly opposing Wesley's queen and central pawns. Wesley strikes with d5, a space-gaining thrust, locking the center and restricting Hikaru's minor pieces. Hikaru answers a6, questioning the knight on b5 and preparing queenside counterplay. Wesley retreats nc3, knight falls back obediently, keeping structure intact without conceding initiative. Hikaru plays q8, queen slides back defensively, regrouping for a longer maneuvering battle. Wesley repositions q-pawn, tucking the queen away and aligning it with kingside attacking ideas. Hikaru jumps na5, the knight lunges aggressively, eyeing b3 and c4, creating tactical tension. Wesley pushes h4, launching the kingside pawn storm, a clear declaration of attacking intent. Hikaru responds a6, shoring up the center and opening lines for his dark-squared bishop. Wesley develops b4, bishop steps out boldly, targeting 7 and asserting central dominance. Hikaru plays r7, doubling rook's potential and preparing defensive flexibility. Wesley maneuvers bh6, bishop dives into enemy territory, directly challenging Hikaru's fianchetto defender. Hikaru accepts bx6, eliminating the intruder before it causes irreversible damage. Wesley recaptures qx6, queen captures with menace, planting herself deep in Hikaru's kingside camp. Hikaru blocks with q5, a forced defensive move, trading queen activity for king safety. Wesley trades queen's qs5, forcing simplification, while dragging Hikaru's king into the open. Hikaru recaptures k-ace, king steps forward unwillingly, the endgame danger, alarm quietly turns on. Wesley pushes a5, continuing aggression, aiming to rip open lines around Hikaru's exposed king. Hikaru plays x5, finally striking back in the center, trying to release pressure. Wesley recaptures x5, restoring his pawn chain and maintaining special dominance. Hikaru responds chicks, challenging the advanced pawn structure and opening potential files. Wesley captures hxg, a pawn breaks through, cracking open the kingside with tactical intent. Hikaru recaptures hxd nix, forced to accept structural damage to keep material balance. Wesley advances 6. A dangerous passed pawn marches forward like a ticking time bomb. Hikaru jumps in d5, centralizing the knight to blockade and counter Wesley's threats. Wesley exchanges nxd5, removing the key defender and clearing lines ruthlessly. Hikaru recaptures cxd5, structure shifts, but the blockade remains tenuous. Wesley invades rxd5, a rook storms into the 5th rank, ceasing activity and momentum. Hikaru pushes b5, gaining space and preparing counterplay on the queenside. Wesley plays a4, immediately challenging the pawn chain and refusing to yield space. Hikaru activates kg7, king steps towards safety, trying to escape the danger zone. Wesley lifts ra4, rook swings menacingly, hinting at lateral attacks and pressure. Hikaru develops bb7, bishop finally joins the fight, eyeing the long diagonal. Wesley retreats r-done, consolidating gains, while keeping pressure intact. Hikaru repositions bg6, centralizing the bishop to challenge the d5 rook. Wesley captures xb5, opening files and destabilizing Hikaru's queenside pawns. Hikaru recaptures bxb5, restoring material balance but conceding piece activity. Wesley trades bxb5, simplifying while stripping Hikaru of key defenders. Hikaru recaptures Axb5. Pawn structure mutates, but open files now favor Wesley. Wesley plays Rd5, reasserting rook dominance, pressing weaknesses mercilessly. Hikaru plays Ra6. Rook swings defensively, attempting to contest key ranks. Wesley doubles with Hd4. Coordination improves, pressure mounts relentlessly. Hikaru counters Rb6. Active defense, challenging Wesley's central control. Wesley develops Netwu. Knight joins late but solidly, preparing jumps into Koan or e-four. Hikaru plays nc4. Knight leaps forward aggressively, creating counterplay threats. Wesley responds nc3, meeting force with force, maintaining balance and control. Hikaru exchanges Rd6, sacrificing coordination to eliminate the dangerous passed pawn. Wesley plays b3, calmly undermining the knight and preparing to open lines. Hikaru pushes b4, striking back sharply, forcing immediate structural decisions. Wesley captures bxc4, opening files and neutralizing Hikaru's knight activity. Hikaru replies bxc, a discovered check that temporarily shifts momentum. Wesley steps kc2. King moves bravely forward, trusting piece activity over fear. Hikaru checks rb21. Rook invades, seeking perpetual chances. Wesley captures kxc3. King boldly takes material, stunning Hikaru with confidence. Hikaru plays rdb6, doubling rooks to maintain pressure and initiative. Wesley activates rg4. Rook joins attack, eyeing g6 and kingside weaknesses. Hikaru responds r6b3, forcing the king to keep dancing under fire. Wesley plays kd4. King marches centrally, fearless and commanding. Hikaru checks rc2, continuing harassment but losing steam gradually. Wesley steps kc5. King advances like a conqueror, dominating the board. Hikaru plays rbd2, doubling rooks again in desperate coordination. Wesley pushes g3, calmly denying tactics and stabilizing the kingside. Hikaru plays rb3, probing for counterplay that never fully materializes. Wesley centralizes r4. Rook targets f7 and g4, tightening the noose. Hikaru pushes 5, a last-ditch pawn break to generate complications. Wesley advances g4, shutting down counterplay and opening attacking lanes. Hikaru captures fxeg4, forced exchange that weakens his remaining structure. Wesley recaptures fxg4, restoring material while keeping initiative firmly. Hikaru plays Ratfu. Rook swings wide, searching for counter chances. Wesley pushes d5. Pawns surge forward, sealing Hikaru's fate. Hikaru checks Ra5, trying one final distraction. Wesley steps k6. King ignores threats, marching toward victory. Hikaru checks Ra6, clinging desperately to checks. Wesley goes k5. King centralizes fully, completely dominating the endgame. Hikaru plays Ray 7, a passive retreat. Signs of exhaustion appear. Wesley steps kd4, improving king position with surgical precision. Hikaru plays r-bone. Rook seeks activity, but finds none. Wesley marches kc5, king now unstoppable, escorting the passed pawns. Hikaru checks ra5, repeating futile attempts. Wesley steps kd6, calm and composed under pressure. Hikaru checks ra6, repetition, without hope. Wesley goes k5, refusing to rush, squeezing patiently. Hikaru plays Ray7, completely tied down defensively. Wesley pushes c5, the passed pawn advances, crowding Hikaru's position. Hikaru checks Re-one, a final tactical try. Wesley steps kd, unshaken, king remains dominant. Hikaru plays Rate, rook retreats as resistance fades. Wesley pushes chicks, the pawn reaches glory, threatening promotion soon. Hikaru checks r8, a last gasp attempt to slow fate. Wesley steps kc5, calmly sidestepping checks. Hikaru plays r8, rook desperately blocks promotion paths. Wesley checks r7, rook joins the king, coordination reaches perfection. Hikaru steps k8, king forced into passive defense. Wesley advances c7, the pawn stands one step from immortality. Hikaru checks Rakoneo, a hollow check in a lost position. Wesley steps kb6, king shields the pawn decisively. Hikaru checks r-bone, delaying the inevitable. Wesley So calmly steps k6, the king, blocks all remaining checks, escorts the passer, and seals victory with cold, flawless endgame authority. The video ends here. Peneniste were wintomen, and a duan seninen, is here, outside. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. Please don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel to support me. Thank you again, everyone. See you in the next video.